Welcome to our meeting on Saturday, the April 6th, 2024. Welcome one and all. We're so glad you're here. We're going to get started, and to start us off, Alistair is going to start with a presentation, and then I'm going to talk a little bit afterwards. So go ahead.
Okay, I shall share my screen. Hang on, share sound. Okay, sorry about that. Just
Perfect. Well, we can see it.
yeah, I know. I'm just going to get rid of these stupid bars everywhere. Sorry, it's taken me so long. I've been a while since I've done this. Okay, here we go. All right, we can get started. So I'm not going to take up an awful lot of time today. What I want to be talking to you about today is how we listen, how we've been trained to listen, and what is the background conversation that we've got going on around what we're trying to do, which is introduce a natural solution to gut issues. So it's how we've, one of the problems with humanity, as I'm always saying, is that we've become programmed robots. And how we become programmed robots is simply the story that just continually bombards us. Whether we're watching TV or it's on in the background, it really makes no difference. That message is coming at us, whether it's from the media, social media, newspapers, television. It's just continuous. And this is what forms our subconscious programming. So when we start talking about products that go completely against your subconscious programming, we start to run into issues. Now, Brooke and I have been on the Wondrous Gut product, Brooke, I think for probably close to 20 years now, and for me, nearly 12. So for us, we've been around this conversation around bacteria for a long, long time because we have come from the background of alternative health. And when you're looking for solutions to people's problems today, you have to go outside of the drug industry because, as we found out, drugs don't really work. And the other thing that Brooke and I discovered is that we got sick and tired of treating symptoms. There's no point in treating a symptom if the condition exists and continues to exist, because even if you get rid of that symptom, another one's going to pop up. If you get a chance to read our philosophy on health, which we call the causes of health, then you'll understand what we're talking about. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the listening that we've been trained into so that you can become aware of this, and either for your own benefit or when you're talking to other people, understand the listening that you're talking into. Now, I only have to bring up the word bacteria for all of you to have that listening come to mind. Now, if you've got no experience with bacteria other than being sick from a stomach bug, that's probably not going to be a very positive listening. But if you've been fixed by it, then it's a different listening, isn't it? So we're just going to get into this. To start to explain this, we have to actually give you a bit of education on what the human body is, not the way that you've been taught by the medical profession, because they chop up the human body into parts that they can make money off, literally. So they see it, we're made up of organs and blood and stuff and systems, right? And that's kind of how they see it, and they like to treat us that way. But that's not really what we're made up of. The reality is we're made up of about 3 trillion plus cells. That's all pretty amazing when you consider none of them actually touch. So what is it that is actually holding us together and not being a blob on the ground? Maybe it's got something to do with something else. And this is the inconvenient truth, because the human body is made up of 100 times more bacteria than it is of cells. Okay, so I need you to really clearly understand this. We are a giant walking blob of bacteria. Okay, that's it. So how does the medical approach to our body, how does this work for them? Imagine for a moment that we have a building with 1,000 beings in it. Okay, 1,000. 990 of them, pretty good. They're all just doing their job and going on. 10 of them are not so good, but they still do a job. All of those 1,000 beings speak different languages and they do different jobs. They all contribute to the function of the building. Okay, even those bad guys who aren't so good, they have their jobs to do and they contribute to the functioning of that building. Unfortunately, sometimes those bad guys and some of the good guys get an idea in their head that they should invite some friends over. Okay, and suddenly we have an imbalance because those 10 friends might turn into 20 or 30, and they start to pick on the rest of the building people, in fact, killing them even, but ultimately they will drive them out of the building. So that would lead unchecked to the building run by the bad, which of course equals to a total collapse of the system that we call death, just in case you didn't know where we're going with this. So we have this amazing building run with 1,000 beings all working together, but suddenly we have these bad guys get together and throw a party and create an unbalance. So what do we do with it? If we're a medical profession, what is our approach? Let's take a look at this. It makes perfect sense to me. Kill them all. Why wouldn't we, eh? Just kill them all. Like, what the hell? Those 990 good beings that are getting beaten up, who cares about them? We'll just kill them off. What are they doing? Nothing, really. Nothing to make us money, so we'll just get rid of them. And they're called antibiotics. So you get one of those bad guys getting out of control, creating an imbalance, go to the doctor. He says, you need this. We'll just kill everything in there for the next year. So there's no bad guys. You won't forget or mention, I should say, that there are no good guys left either. Now, if you think about this, the gut is where health begins. That's your natural immunity. And if you've got no gut, you've got no natural immunity. So in the next 12 months, after taking your dose of kill 'em all antibiotics, anything going around that you catch, what are you going to do? Nothing except go straight to the doctor and get another drug to treat it. Why? You got no natural immunity. Okay, so where's this taken us? Where are we today as a species in our wonderful world of health? I'll just use the USA as an example because getting statistics for this industry is kind of fun. None of them make a lot of sense. You got to go digging really deep, and the truth is pretty scary. In the USA last year, 60 to 70 million people were diagnosed with a GI condition. That's about 1 in 5. But it's a lot worse than that. In a survey conducted by the Gut Institute in America, 60% of the 78,000 people surveyed had a GI issue in the last week. So that's not 60 to 70 million. That is not 20% of the population. You're looking at closer to 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90%. Now, just because you're not feeling symptoms of a diseased gut does not mean to say you do not have an imbalance in there. Almost every human being alive today, especially in the Western world, has serious gut issues because of our diet and the way we choose to live. That's just a fact. Last year in America, over 70 million ambulance calls were gut-related. 1 in 4 surgeries in the United States are gut-related surgeries. 326,000 people died last year of gut-related conditions. 326,000 people from a bad gut. 1 in 1,000 deaths from gut issues globally. Now, this is the amazing thing. That's the statistic in America, just pretty close to that. And you think, oh, okay, 1 in 1,000 deaths in some third world African country. I could relate to that. I could see why that would happen. But the statistic is the same in a Western country like the USA as it is in the worst third world African or any other country in the world that has no healthcare system or anything else. Same number of people die. And what do we do for this? In the US, we spend $4.7 trillion a year for a healthcare industry that delivers a country that ranks 37th in the world in health. How much money do you have to pay to get sick? Come to America. If you're healthy, come over here. We'll make you sick. We'll give you drugs to make sure it happens. Sorry, I'm a little wound up today. So why has this not changed? Been advertised that 1 in 1,200 people of the global population died from that COVID event. Yet not a single headline about gut health today. Why is that? 1 in 1,200 people, ladies and gentlemen, COVID. They stopped the world for it. But we have 1 in 1,000 dying from gut-related conditions. No one is talking about it. And the why? Direct healthcare costs relating to gut health is 136 billion US dollars a year. That was last year. And they say direct, and this is the thing that I found kind of sneaky. It did not include drugs. I mean, 136 billion, that's a lot of money. Out of 4.7 trillion, not so much. but still a lot of money, right? But doesn't include drugs. People with GI conditions are on 3 to 7 prescriptions each. By the way, that's 2 to 3 more than a person without a GI condition. Now, do the math. 70 million people times 4 prescriptions is 240 million prescriptions. You know any drugs that cost $1? Nope. And that's per issue. So that's 240, even $1, that's 240 million. If they do it every month, that's 240 million a month. If it's $10 for the drug, that's 2.4 billion. And if it's $100 a drug, well, you can do the math. This is outrageous, but that's why it's not changing, ladies and gentlemen. Drugs do not work unless you're the one getting paid for them. Then they work really well. Probiotics market. This is the solution that people are looking for because they go to the doctor and eventually, but before that, they usually try an over-the-counter solution. So they estimated that this year we're going to hit 84 billion US dollars around the world. However, in 2020, they estimated the market would hit 89 billion in 2030. Now, what does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Apart from the fact that they've got no idea what's going on, except it's getting worse a lot faster than they can keep up with. Because it's growing currently at 14% per annum. So what is the source of this problem? It's, funnily enough, not a lack of drugs. We know, and you should know, you found a solution, or the source of the problem, I should say, when the solution works on everything affected. A war on bacteria is a war against ourselves. You need to understand this like it's a mantra. Why would this medical profession for the last 50, even more years, have conducted an antibacterial campaign? Everything is antibacteria when we're 99% made up of good bacteria and 1% or less than 1% bad. It's kind of funny how this is a reflection of humanity. Well, I'd like to think it is, but of course, I think we have probably more than 1% of the population that are bad. I think bacteria are a good example. But the reality is, this is the world that we live in. 1% is bad, 99% is good. And guess what? The 1% win because it pays the people in charge money. The reality is we are too stupid to survive without a paradigm shift. We have to learn or we die. So what is the solution? Replace what is present to the minimum. If you get to read our attitude on health, you'll understand the law of the minimum and what is present to the minimum. And pretty much all living things on this life is beneficial bacteria. The things that we have evolved with for, well, since before we were even humans. Since we've evolved, whatever we evolved out of, these have been in our life. Now, I don't know if you think about the future much, but you hear about the global warming and that we're melting the ice caps. It's a reality, whether we're doing it or it's a natural part of this Earth cycle. But we're going to be releasing bacteria in the air that the human body has never experienced before, ever. We weren't around when these bacteria that are being released into the air were created. Now, one of these bacteria could be highly beneficial and turn us into supermen. But the odds are likely that one of those bacteria is just going to turn us into dirt. And book will tell you most days, I don't really worry about that. It's like, yes, finally, karma rules. However, if we don't want that to happen, we got to do something about it. And I don't know about you, but if I want to survive this, I want to have some bacteria in my body that have been around for 3.5 billion years, protecting all life on Earth from those bad guys. So that when they come out of that long sleep and decide to attack our bodies, we have some defense against them. How do you defend against something you've never seen before? Think about that for a moment. Wondrous Gut is nature's gift to a planet's failing populations. When you actually understand the story of how this product came about, this is a true natural miracle that has been around for 45 years. And if you want to know how powerful it is, just look at how unknown it is. Now, does that make sense? If you've been watching these slides, it should make perfect sense. Anything that competes against that $4.7 trillion industry is not going to be welcome to the party. They are going to want to see that out of business and gone. And think about why. You take this product, you get some natural gut immunity, and that little bug that comes along doesn't make you sick enough to go to the doctor. They just missed out on a visit and a prescription. That's out of their profits. And we live in a world driven by money. So who cares if you get sick and die, as long as we make money out of you while it happens? And it works on all living things. And frankly, this is why Brooke and I ended up going down the path of looking to create fertilizers and alternative supplements for animals, because human beings are just so hard to try and convince, even ones that are seeing the results. But you give a product to an animal that works, and watch your fingers the next day when the dog tries to take it out of your hands because he wants to eat your hand and all, because it works for him. Animals are smart. They instinctively know what works, and they take it. They don't need to be convinced. So I want to finish that topic now, because that's just to give you some background. We're about to move into a place of actually being a business for the first time in 6 years. And I just wanted to give you an update on where the business is at. And it's pretty much a bit like the probiotics market. Yeah, we're struggling. Why? Because we're on the right side. And we've been trying to raise some cash to get us into the business. After 6 years of working, and with Brooke and I's background, we don't need a fortune to get this product out there. We have the support of both the suppliers of the product, the international distributor, and the creator of the product. So as we grow, we will have all the support we need, but we still need to get off the ground. So where we're at the moment, we are just completing the landing pages, as well as the website. You'll see continual changes on that. I'm about to introduce you to, Brooke doesn't even know this. This is one of our landing pages. This is the Wondrous Gut landing page. Wondrous World begins with you. So you can see it, it's up live. I wouldn't be promoting this just yet because we haven't hooked everything up, as you'll hear shortly. But it's a pretty good site. We think it does a good job, and it will be a very good, simple place to send people to. Okay, Wondrous One, the fertilizer. You'll see no mention of this on the website very shortly. Wondrous World will have a separate store, and we'll be talking about the fertilizer and as a separate conversation. What we've discovered is people are struggling to comprehend what we're talking about just with the gut product. If you try to introduce a second product, you lost them. It's just too complicated for them to understand. So we just, to keep it simple, stupid, the KISS simple program, we will keep them separate, and we'll talk different conversations with different people. The affiliate program is being attached to the program, and I got to tell you, I'm really excited. I've been in direct sales for 40 odd years and never, ever done an affiliate marketing program. It is the dream of anybody who's been in multi-level marketing, because it's all of the benefits without any of the BS that goes with multi-level marketing. And yes, I can say BS because I have a 40-year history in this industry. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love the checks, hated how I have to get them. Because what you have to do when you're in a multi-level marketing business is to help people grow personally. Everybody thinks they're out there selling a product. Just like Mr. McDonald's, Ray Kroc, when he was asked what business he was in and no one could answer the question correctly, they all thought he sold hamburgers. And he said, no, I'm in the real estate business. I just use hamburgers to pay for it. Okay, so the business that we're in is something like that. Now, with our affiliate program, we have taken all of the sales out of it. It's very simple. You try a product, you like it, you tell your friends. End of story. You got a couple of products, packets of samples you can pass on to your friends so they can experience it firsthand. No one has to believe a single word we're saying or a single word you're saying. Because I hate to tell you this, most of your friends know you pretty well. So when you start talking about health-related products, they know you don't know anything about health. So why would they listen to you? They wouldn't. You don't know anything about health. Educating them, difficult. So what you do is you just say, hey, I tried this product. It's amazing. I have gut problems. I don't like talking about it. It's a bit embarrassing. But if you know anything, you should try this. Because even though we're 40 years on from when this product was launched, today, even though it is so bad, people still are uncomfortable talking about their gut. And what happens? Like things like diarrhea. Oh my God, don't mention that. Or constipation. Something's not working. I can't talk to anyone about it. Men, especially if you're listening. Well, the great thing is you don't have to talk to anybody now. And this is the most important thing that we don't stress enough with the product we offer. You don't have to change your lifestyle. You don't have to start eating healthy, although it would probably be good. Reality is, if you wanted to, you probably still couldn't anyway, because there's no healthy food out there. Good luck trying that. Okay, so at least we can do is start to get a healthy gut so that any nutrition that is in the food that you're ingesting is going to give you some benefit. But more importantly, if there are any nasties in that food you're ingesting, which is probably more the case, you're going to have protection so that you don't end up with a lot of the negatives. So we're about to launch this affiliate program, and ladies and gentlemen, it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money. Those who want to go out there and talk about it, yes, there'll be those who'll just pass it on to their friends. A lot of them who won't say anything because they're miserable people. Okay, they just don't like sharing something good. Well, okay, they're welcome to the product and they get the benefits, but eventually maybe they will start sharing that when they start to feel a little happier and their brain starts to work again because their gut is working and it's now connected to their brain and their brain is now working. Okay, where we're at, capital raising has altered. It's been quite an eye-opener. We've not been out in the field for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's pretty scary out there. People are very, very afraid, and the ones that do have money are not parting with it. But most importantly, we found that there are quite a few people who wanted to get involved with us, but we set the bar a little too high. We had said that the minimum entry level was $5,000 because we were in a hurry to get this done. We didn't realize just how bad things were out there. So we've now changed this and we're making this affordable for everybody. Okay, it's $1,000 entry for anybody who wants to participate. And that's as a shareholder. Now, $1,000 only gets you 2 shares. So it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But it actually works out at 0.01% of the population. Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? It works out at 0.01% of the company. Now, what that equates to is if we made $1 million profit in a year, you'd get, and we paid that back to the investors, for your $1,000, you get $1,000 back. That's your dividend that year, if we make $1 million profit. Now, I think your maths is probably good enough to just keep going up to 10 million profit, 100 million profit. And it might take us 5 or 10 years, but there's nothing stopping this company from going to $1 billion profit. And you can do your own math. Well, I should say nothing stopping us apart from a $4.7 trillion drug industry that really wouldn't like to see us in the marketplace, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, we're putting it over to you. That's why we're doing it as an affiliate program, because you need to know, if you haven't got it yet, that the people in charge of your health, or I should say the disease care, don't care about you other than your wallet and what it can make them. That's it for me. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I'll put you back to Brooke, who's going to continue the conversation a little bit more about the actual product. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, Alistair. So if anybody has a question, go ahead and jump in. Otherwise, I will go, and I'm not going to keep you for terribly long either, but I just wanted to give you a bit of information about our gut challenge. Anybody have a question?
I just wanted to know with the samples, is it enough that people will start feeling a difference?
That's a very good question, Margaret. We've done a little bit of an experiment here locally, where on Nextdoor we just put out a message said looking for people with gut issues to try a 2-week free sample. Now, what we were looking to do is get some feedback. Well, it was a two-edged sword. I was looking to get some feedback to see whether that 2 weeks was enough for people to notice a difference, but also to see whether this as a marketing technique would work. Well, we got approximately 5 people who responded to that, and so far everybody has ordered product. And at least 3 of those people are reporting significant benefits, like within the first week. So the 2 weeks, yeah, and remember, these are people with gut issues. So if you don't have a noticeable gut issue, you're not going to notice significant benefits initially. You will, but most people are too ignorant to notice what's going on. But those we've found that have real gut issues, and remember there's 60 to 70 million in America, we only need 5% of those and we're $1 billion brand. So those people are the ones that are going to notice a difference inside of a week to 2 weeks. So we know that with people with gut issues, that seems to work. And unfortunately, most of the notices people change. God, well, my brain today. Most of the changes people notice are not, how can I put this? Beneficial. That's probably the best way I could put it. Anyway, when I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Can you elaborate a little on that?
No, I've just lost my train of thought completely there. My brain just went off in another direction and I lost it. So coming back to the 2 weeks, the 2 weeks is enough for people with issues to notice a difference, and certainly from our experience to buy it. And one issue, and this is something that I forgot to mention before, and this is very important. I get asked this a lot. Is 3 months enough to fix my gut? Short answer is hell no. Okay. If you're our age, you've been damaging your gut probably since you were 12 years old or even younger. If you're younger, you've been damaging your gut since you were born. And most of those who are born without being breastfed, you have 80% of your immune system gone. If you're a cesarean section, you've got problems. All of these issues contribute to a situation where we're just not healthy. Okay. So it's going to take longer than 3 months to completely fix your gut. We tell people it's 3 to 6 months just for the detox period, because you can't unwind a problem of this magnitude fast without having really serious side effects. And what we've noticed, and this is, sorry, I just came back to what I've forgotten, is that people don't know how to follow instructions. We tell people, please start on 1 capsule a day. Well, in the world we live in, more is best, right? So I should take more. Well, that's great until you start seeing all the lumps and bumps and all of the stuff starting to appear in your body because your liver can't handle the detox. Our body is getting hammered enough. We don't need to overload it anymore. So please, if you're on the product, if you're going to take the product, it starts off at 1 a day. Now, we tell people the 3 month supply is enough for you to see a difference, and it is. After 3 months, even just starting off on 1 or 2 a day and going through that, if you're relatively healthy, in other words, not sick, then you'll notice a difference. But the people who have serious problems and they go on to the heavier doses up to 8 a day, they're noticing, they're going through the product a lot quicker, but they're also noticing the benefits a lot quicker. So yes, people may take up to a year, but remember, you're going to be on this forever, unfortunately, unless you're growing food in your backyard that has all of these soil-borne organisms in them. And we can help you do that. But even then, in this world, we're so toxically overloaded. It's my opinion, even if we fix the food chain, we're still going to need supplemental health. Sure. It's like if you're in a war against some guys who are a little upset with you, then, you've got a war going on. But if you're against a group of people who are religious fanatics who will blow themselves up to kill you and everything else, then you need a lot more soldiers. Okay, it's that simple. It's really, really simple. The bigger the problem, the more effort has to be put in, and you can't do anything about it. Only bacteria can do this job for us. So we have to leave it up to them and let nature do what it was always intended to do, which is restore our health through the way it was created. Sorry, that was a very long answer, Margaret.
No, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
But quite honestly, I would just take what Alistair was saying and just elaborate a little bit further, because I get this question as well, because people think, I just take it for this regimen and then I stop and I'm fine. What is not being taken into account is that we're still living in a toxic soup. I say a toxic soup because I'm talking about the air we breathe, the water we drink, what we put on our skin, our food that we ingest, our thoughts, because there is so much more to this about what is actually helping us to be healthy, stay healthy, maintain health, etc., that it is a constant battle until we absolutely shift into a new world. So to my way of looking at this, Wondrous Gut is a bridge. It is a foundational product for health. So it actually starts our foundation, setting that up so that anything else beneficial that comes in actually can be beneficial, because without a healthy gut, everything that you absorb that is beneficial does not actually become totally beneficial unless your gut is working. And everything unhealthy that comes in is just being either maintained or when you're on the product is being expelled. So it's a constant, you're always in a constant battle, so to speak, until we shift everything. And once everything gets shifted and we no longer need supplementation because we are different light beings, then we won't need this anymore. But for now, this is like an armor, so to speak. And that's one of the things that is why it is so important. So we're launching the 90-day gut health challenge, which you've heard about. And to really understand this, what we're actually saying is for $1.11 a day, you can start getting a foundational product into your system to start healing your gut. And Alistair has gone through all of the reasons and everything behind this, but it is probably one of the simplest things we can do. So for the gut issue people, this will be revolutionary. I've had customers who have actually said this is a miracle product. And we need more testimonials because obviously stories from people and testimonials are things that everybody can relate to. And when this appears to be a new product, there might be some reticence to actually try it because everybody has no idea what to do. And there's so much information and so many things out there, which is why we really are all about the word of mouth, because we trust each other. And when you hear that somebody has XYZ, as a for instance, there was a person who was telling me that they had had gut issues since they were a baby, a child. One of the reasons that they have these issues could be, I should say, from the things that happened when they were born, as Alistair has talked about, from vaccines that they received where allergies can get created in the body, and all sorts of other things. So these are lifelong issues. You don't change a lifelong issue in a week. You don't even change it in a few months, but you can improve your health and your situation. But you have to be open to that as well. If you are not open to any help being allowed in, then there's no point in even trying. So I just am asking everybody to give this product a try for $1.11 a day for 3 months and see what happens, because miracles can happen.
I just want to share a testimonial that came from a lady who came from one of our gut health issues. She's pretty much had gut issues her entire life, and she's only on day 5 now. I got this email yesterday. She said, on day 5 of the Wondrous Gut, and she said, I'm sure I'm starting to feel a difference. This time of the year, my allergies are giving me enormous grief. So far, I haven't noticed them at all. Now that's in 5 days. That to me, it's a little thing, but if you're not paying attention to the weather and everything else, then it's just going to slide by. But this is the problem with humanity, is we don't pay a lot of attention to our body. We've been taught to give up the responsibility of that body to the medical profession. That's what we do when we get sick. Why would we have anything to do with it? Why should we be responsible? It's funny, if your car breaks down while you're driving down the road, what you don't do is get out of the car, ring a tow truck or your local mechanic to come and pick it up immediately, do you? The first thing you're going to do is see if you've got any gas in the tank, okay? or, check a few things to see if there's something simple that's gone wrong. But humans don't. Anything goes wrong, we're straight to the doctor, right? Because they can make money off us. So this is, when we talk about personal responsibility, this is a big shift for people. And the reason why we went over these statistics today, because people need to understand the why. It's not personal, it's just business. As a VP of Goldman Sachs was published saying, Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley.
No, it was Goldman Sachs. I remember it personally. This guy, in an interview, turned around and publicly said, curing people is not good for business. And the statistics show that. Now, what part of that don't you get? They're telling you to your face, we don't want to cure you. We just want to keep you taking drugs to keep us rich. And we line up and say, yes, sir, please, sir, can we have some more, sir? Why? Because they don't take it out of your pocket. They take it out of your insurance. So everybody pays, but not directly. Because I promise you, if you had to pay $1,000 a month for Ozempic to keep your weight down, I guarantee you probably wouldn't.
Well, we live in a world where it's always been about looking at symptoms as opposed to the whole. We need to get back to looking at the whole, and we need to start looking at the things that we are putting into our body as foundational. So a foundational product, just to give some clarity about what I actually mean by that, is, as Alistair likes to say, a foundational limb, it would be like a leg. If you lost a leg, you perhaps would look at that as that is creating a problem on a foundational basis, not being able to walk. But if, for instance, you lose a toe, that is not necessarily going to be a foundational issue. So I look at our guts are the foundation of so much in our body. Our guts are where we have hormones. It has a gut-brain relationship. In fact, the saying of "I trust my gut" tells you about how important the gut is from an intuitive standpoint. Having a clean gut that is functioning is what is going to be able to take in vitamins, minerals, aminos, everything that is needed, and actually utilize them to their fullest potential. So everything that you ingest when you have an operating, functioning gut will be utilized the way in which it is supposed to be utilized. If your gut is a mess, then you can't think. Gut-brain relationship, depression, all these other things, brain fog, etc., start happening. And it doesn't, anyway, everything starts to break down.
Brooke,
Yes.
I just want to interrupt here because I think there's a very good crossover here. As humans, we look at this and we're looking at this as a human product. But as I said before, this is all life. And, we grow slowly compared to animals. This is why it's so much easier to see the effect this product has on animals that grow fast, because we've witnessed this. And you can't have all animals, whether they're a fish, a cattle, a pig, a chicken, or a turkey, have exactly the same results, which was 20%, 20%, 20%. 20% bigger growth, 20% faster on 20% less food. That is consistent on all living things, including plants. So we're not a living thing anymore? This has exactly the same effect. It's just not quite as easy to see or as fast to see as it is in animals. So that, again,
true.
That's why we keep saying that this is a foundational solution for health on the planet, because it works on everything in exactly the same way. More efficiency. That's it.
And creating balance. That is its job, to create balance in the body, create balance on the planet, create balance in children, in everything. By the way, does anybody have any questions? Would you like to jump in? Is this clear? Yes, go ahead. Anybody?
Yep.
Do you have the product for animals now, or would it be the same way?
There will be delivery systems is going to be the biggest issue. When it comes to animals, again, Brooke and I, when it comes to foundational things, we, from an alternative health perspective, got sick and tired of treating symptoms. So a long time ago, we started to look for things that create fundamental foundational changes. So and then things like the endocannabinoid system, which is, made illegal because of marijuana and hemp. But all living things require that to be fed. So when it comes to animal health, we're going to produce product that is it's hard enough getting them into them once, so you don't want to give them 5 pills. So we want to create something that's tasty, like for dogs, it'll be a dog chew that will have both the probiotic and also the food for their endocannabinoid system, some hemp or whatever that might be. So those formulas have been created. They just have to be basically monetized, packaged, and then sold. But the whole concept on this, Margaret, is that as we build a network of people who understand the benefits of this product, we then provide a marketplace who are like-minded to us. We're trying to introduce people to what nature has to offer them as opposed to the drug companies. And once they understand that, if they own a dog, sending them a sample pack of dog chews is going to be very simple for them as a free sample to see that this works on their dog as well. Same thing for the fertilizer. Later on, we'll be introducing them. Here's a free sample. Put it on your house plants. So we will introduce products, and there will be other products. We don't have the answer to all health, of course, but we primarily will promote only what we call foundational products. For example, there is a company that makes patches. One of those patches stimulates stem cells in the human body, well, via the precursor to those. That we would call a foundational product because stem cells are foundational to our health. One of the other patches gets rid of pain. That is a symptomatic product because pain is not a foundation of our life. It is a symptom of something going wrong in there. So anything that treats that symptom is a symptomatic product. And that's pretty much all you can buy today because there's, as Goldman Sachs said, ain't no money in curing people, which is probably why we live so poorly on government-assisted housing and
so let's not go. We
kidding.
don't need to go.
I'm only kidding. But the reality is that anybody who tries to go up against this is going to struggle. That's why we have to turn this into a narrative for the people, hand it over to them, word of mouth, and let them decide whether this works or not, and ignore the advertising because advertising is one thing, your body's another. I just want to mention one thing. This is a fascinating study of health. This is a gentleman who kept chicken heart cells alive in his laboratory for 28 years. In fact, those chicken cells outlasted him. He died before they did. And he kept those things alive just by 2 simple things. Good nutrition in, waste out. That is the answer to health. And it all starts in the gut. Can't get the nutrition in because we've coated our guts with all of the putrefaction of eating the rubbish for the last 40 years or so. No nutrition goes in. Get rid of that. Nutrition goes in. It's really simple.
And to add to that, that's one of the very first things that the SBOs do when you ingest them. So it is really important that this is a grassroots community that grows from people who are hearing about the product and getting results. So this is one of the reasons why I really want to put it out to all of you to, if this resonates and you would like to be a part of it, please, please just keep talking about it, getting it out, telling people, we really, really appreciate you and all that you're doing and bringing and the interest and support and belief and everything else that you all have in what we're doing. Because it's going to take us all to create this new way, this full, healthy, wonderful possibilities of what we have and can create. So
next week, well, over the next 2 weeks, there's going to be 2 presentations that I'll be doing. One, and the next 7 days will be focused purely on the investment side of it for those who wanted to look at coming in and being part of this and owning a piece of the ship, so to speak. And the other presentation is the one I'm really looking forward to, and that's when we're going to be introducing the affiliate program and getting ready to launch this. Now, we're not going to do that until we have the funds in the bank necessary to do this, because, pull the trigger too early and it's the fast way to go to business. So we have this month to put this together, and, we'll start, like I said, slowly. But when the affiliate program kicks off, I'll be introducing those who want to do this to make some serious money to a system that will do most of the work for you. Because as I said earlier, I still believe that today gut issues is a topic that people don't like discussing. We'll find out whether this is true. Just looking at the difference between the survey and people who are diagnosed, there seems to be a huge difference between people who reportedly have gut issues and people who are actually reporting gut issues. So this is going to be potentially a very big and easy opportunity, and we're going to create a system that doesn't require people's involvement. So people don't actually want to get on the phone and talk to you about their gut issues, believe it or not. And I think that's fantastic, because frankly, I'm not interested in spending all day on the phone talking to people about their gut issues. So we make this very simple. Just buy the product, try it, and see for yourself. And we believe that's going to work extremely well, especially with the guarantees. So I think I'll shut up. I was supposed to let Brooke do most of this. So that's me all over. Can't keep me quiet if you try.
That's okay. Anybody have any specific questions that they would like to ask? Good to see you, Kelly. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just want to say I'm enjoying the product. So, I did my first 2 weeks with the samples you sent me, and now, with my gut challenge, I am now on 2 tablets a day, and there is a significant difference between one, and I know not always to start low and slow. So I appreciated you talking about that today. But yeah, and I hadn't really asked that question about, well, how many tablets can you go up to? That the journey is what's amazing to me, to see the change, and then to be able to, converse your story to other people, because I think that is where the affiliate program and the growth of this, people identify with testimony. And I'm growing my own testimony because I actually feel it working. So that's absolutely amazing to me. That's why
Thank you, Kelly.
You have my support. I can feel it working.
It's I like to say it's a bit like you're walking down the street and someone actually connects the third leg to you that you didn't know you were born with, and that you've been missing. It's like, oh, this is what's like walking properly. I've got 3 legs again.
Yeah.
Or usually hopping and you've got 2 legs. So
I have to thank you so much, Kelly. So I have to tell you something that was a bit of a shock to me. I was talking to a gentleman, and he actually turned around and he said, "Well, what is your gut? What is the gut? And when you talk about your gut having gut issues, what are they?" I had no idea. I had never even thought of, he has acid reflux. He has, what do you call it? The blood sugar,
hyperglycemia.
Hyperglycemia. He has allergies. He has, but he had no idea. And he said, "Oh, I need to read what it covers, what's in the gut, what even bloating,
Well, let's make one of our flyers that, what are the symptoms of gut issues? Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, we really have to dumb things down, because, the whole medical industry has, manufactured all these fancy words. And then, of course, they don't talk about that the groups of symptoms are just the names that they give the conditions.
That is
so
so
they
true.
Sell their pills, potions, and lotions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'll start work on that.
Oh, thank you. So Kelly is also, she's taken on the Facebook community, and I cannot tell you how thrilled and honored and feel so blessed about it, Kelly. It's just absolutely wonderful. So we're getting it going, and lots of wonderful things to come. So if nobody else has any other questions, I will go ahead and stop the recording and just say thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to building this up. So, but don't go ahead and invite people or introduce them to the product. And if somebody buys and is a referral, I will definitely keep note of that. And when the affiliate program is fully launched, then we'll make sure that they all come under whoever it is who has been introduced. Oh, Maria. Yes. Welcome, Maria. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Hi,
Thanks.
Maria.
Good. Hi. Well, I want to ask, since you mentioned that Kelly is the one in charge of the Facebook, I
Yes.
invited a couple, I believe about 5 of my contacts that I thought may be interested. I don't know if they have joined. I'm gonna check and see. So
Oh,
I'm spreading the
fantastic.
word, you know, I'm spreading the word
Thank you.
with my contacts and all that. And it's great to be here and listen to. I was a little late. I'm sorry, because Saturdays I'm very busy, you know, with the
Right.
company. It's the day that we gather everything.
No,
And
thank you for
yeah,
being here. So really, we'd
I'm
get
glad to
that.
be here. And take care, and I'll keep spreading the word.
Thank you so much, Maria. Really
Welcome.
appreciate it.
You're
Well,
welcome. Have a
thank you
blessed day.
guys. You too. You too. And thank you guys for being here so much. Lots of love. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye
Bet.
bye.
Bye.
Mm.